All right, Dan Stein and Steve Campbell back with another BIM 360 ACC workflow. This time we're going to use the consumed linking example in this video, which would basically be a team is working on a project and they are coming up on a deliverable, and perhaps a decision was made to lock in the links and not have anything change between now and when the deliverables are created, the 100% DD or something like that, or 100% construction documents. And just to show you a little kind of back end here before I get into Revit, we did set up some folders and permissions. So in this case, Steve actually is not a project admin at the highest level here. He just has the view and download rights, and then he's playing the mechanical engineer, so he has more rights in that folder. And you'll notice that he has a file in the MEP folder, and there's nothing in the consumed folder under MEP, which is a key point here. And then architecture, there's an architectural model and nothing in consumed. And then there's also nothing in shared at all. So Steve already has in this MEP model, the architectural model linked in using the live linked method that we've covered previously. And so throughout this process, we're going to temporarily switch to the consumed mode. And then I'm going to make some changes and publish, and he's not going to consume again. And then I'll make some more changes and publish, and maybe that's after the deliverable, and then he'll reconsume that. He could, of course, also switch back to live linking. So all of this stuff is somewhat interchangeable. So notice we have this BIM 360 project called BIM 360 Workflows dash consumed linking. I'm going to open up the Law Office A24 model. So maybe I'm working away and outside the building, I'm going to add this 3D wall. You can see just sort of floating out in space here is a 3D wall. I'm going to hit save. And if I close this project, so now it says publish latest. Get a little bit of a message about what's going to happen. So this does take a minute to process here and in the cloud. We'll switch to the cloud while that's processing. And now it's processing on the cloud side. All right, now we're going to switch to design collaboration. At the top, I'm going to click the dot, dot, dot button. In the upper right, I'm going to click the plus icon here to create a package. On the left, so I'm going to click it again. Now that we see the model show up, we know it's done processing. We also saw the little spinning icon go away. So in the lower right, I'm going to click save. In the upper right, I'm going to click share. I could change this or give it a description. I'm just going to hit share. And then I'll stop sharing my screen and let Steve share his.
From Revit, you can see that I actually have the old version here, but I'm going to basically link in the consumed version. So we're going to go to manage links. We do a reload from, and we'll go up to the external, just make sure I start from the right spot. Project files. In this case, I'm going to go to the architecture folder. This is the live one. If we go to the MEP one and look under consumed, there is nothing there currently consumed. So to get that to happen, basically, we're going to go back to BIM 360.
Up in so Steve is in the ME, he's the MEP user. That's why you can't see the architectural model, correct? You
Correct.
architecture folder.
Well, I still can see the architecture folder in the model, but I can't do anything with it inside of Revit. I can't see the actual model. I can see it up in BIM 360.
Right.
Um, But what I can see here is you've actually shared out a version of the architectural model. But if we look under MEP, there's nothing consumed yet. So what we're going to be actually doing is consuming the shared version. And to do that, basically, you have to go to Design Collaboration. I'm in my MEP space, drop the bar down, and you should be able to see that under the shared section, you can see a package here. And it's architecture in this case. If I click on it once, I'll get a little more info on it. He didn't put a description in or a name, but I can see that you did it and what the date is. I can consume that package. And I believe that should be done if we jump back to Docs and look under MEP, consumed, architecture. You'll find that version now is underneath the consumed folder.
So
So
notably, it's not the consumed folder under architecture. This is the
yes,
MEP team consuming a package into their space.
that they have chosen basically.
Right. And so now, if you look at this in Revit, you can relink it and you'll see the extra wall show up.
We go back to the architecture, reload from, and if we go project files, if I look under MEP, consumed, architecture, now I have what we basically would be a static version based on that package to link in.
And notably, infinitely static. If nobody ever came back and changed this, it would be stuck in time at this point in the model forever.
And there's your wall.
So now we can switch back to my screen and talk about this idea of architecture continuing to work on the same deliverable and potentially making some small changes that the whole point is that the MEP doesn't want to see anything change, and that's neither here nor there. We're not going to debate the point of whether that's good or bad in this video. It's just how it's intended to work. So we're continuing to work and we add another wall in the design. This could represent ceilings moving up and down inches or changing type, big changes, small changes. This is just representative of all that happening. And so we're still not to the 100% CDs yet, but for some reason we decide we need to make another
Version
pub
update. Yeah.
version publish, right? As a thing we can do. And so now I'm going to hit publish. And this will change from 1135 to 1150 roughly here in just a moment. So on the cloud side, you can see this processing. This is updated to the next version number. You can see it says 1150. And the whole point here is that until MEP, in this case Steve, goes in and reconsumes the file and updates his link in Revit, his file isn't changing. So he can't see that extra wall yet. We'll wait to switch back to his computer. Um, and I'm going to go in and add a third wall. And so when he opens his file again, it won't have either of these walls. But we'll pretend like this third wall was added after the 100% deliverables, and MEP now needs to get back up to speed. And how do they do that? So I'm going to publish latest. I'm going to go back to view the files online.
Four just finished, five just kicked in.
Yeah, so doing these updates pretty close back to back. So now this is version 5, 1152. I'm going to go into the design collaborate and in these architecture space. This may be jumping the gun a little bit here on it processing, but I'm going to click to create a package. So in this case, I didn't actually create a package off of 4, but I could have. And now I created one off of version 5. This still may need a minute to finish processing, but we'll switch to Steve's screen and see what he sees.
Okay, so we're currently still seeing basically the original consumed version. And if we look at the path, we should be able to tell that it is MEP consumed. So it's looking at that static version. Your options are basically to reload from, but we haven't reconsumed that other model yet. So if we just jump back to BIM 360 and let's take a peek underneath Design Collaborate. Hopefully that's finished. Correct. Yeah, this is the one we consumed right here. See, it's consumed on 12/26, but you see there's a new package there. That's version number architecture 3. If we select that one, we can consume that version by hitting the consume button. And now we look underneath docs, MEP, consumed, architecture. There's a version 2, so this is the second time we've consumed the package, even though the package is whatever, version 3 at that point. But it should have 11:55, which is our current time. So now we have a choice of basically, do we take the consumed version or do we go back to the, we could do reload. I think I'll get the, if I do reload, I should get all 3, right? If it's caught up, find out. Is it not caught up? Oop, there they are.
Yep. So in
So
this case, the reconsuming is always overwriting that same consumed folder file under MEP.
correct.
And then the other option would have been to go back to live linking.
And basically just go to reload from and pick the actual live live model underneath the architecture folder. That would put us back to live.
And that's consumed linking. Thanks for watching.